Okay, Graham says I am live. Okay, great. Okay, sorry, I'm coming all the way from the west coast of the United States, and of course, being on the road, 5 minutes before I was supposed to come on, the hotel internet went down. So thank you all for your patience. Hello, everyone. A happy and belated New Year to all. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm delighted and honored to be here with you and have the opportunity to share a few moments of my passions and pursuits in the hopes it will help you in the attainment of yours. My name is Michael Fenster. I'm a cardiologist. I'm also a professional chef, and I'm a professor of culinary medicine, where I teach culinary medicine at the University of Montana here in Montana, United States. And when Graham first asked me to speak with you today, I initially thought I might talk about culinary medicine and what it is and how we apply it and so on. But then I thought to myself, why do that when you can visit the website, check out the university links, and accomplish that for yourself? After the year we've all had, I think we could all use a little bit of the joy that comes from the practice of culinary medicine. So with that in mind, my brief segment today is going to be interactive. And first off, this is totally voluntary, and you only have to do it if you want. And you have the option to engage not only as a participant, but also as an observer. Although I think you can get a whole lot more of the flavor and taste of culinary medicine if you jump right in. After all, you can only tell so much about a meal from looking at a picture of the food compared to actually sitting down and tucking in. So, if you're going to participate, what I'd like you to do now is turn up the volume so you can hear me, and then quickly retrieve some sort of beverage. It can be coffee. I have a lovely cup of Earl Grey tea here. And if you're in the right environment, the right frame of mind, and are so inclined, it could be a fine glass of wine or even a proper pint. One of the other things that you can grab, if you like, is a simple glass of water. You know, water is one of our first and most important medicines and an intrinsic connecting point of mindfulness for many peoples. If you like, the glass can be carbonated, even include a twist of lime or a dash of lemon, as you prefer. I would only ask that you stay away from sugary soft drinks or energy drinks or any of the ultra-processed offerings that are made to be distracting and hyper-palatable. So once you have that, whatever you've decided to grab, again, I've got my cup of Earl Grey, just set it aside for now. We'll get back to that in a moment. What I want to explore with you in the time we have left together is the idea of mindful eating, which, as we shall discover at the same time, also includes mindful drinking. This is something that we touch upon in our Introduction to Culinary Medicine course and engage more fully at the higher levels of study. So with mindfulness in mind, let's take a few minutes to understand exactly what it is we're talking about. My first experience in the practice of mindfulness goes back decades to before mindfulness was even conceived of the modern buzzword that it is. As I mentioned many decades ago when I was studying martial arts, what today we might consider forms of mindfulness practice was simply part of our routine of study. The regimen consisted of exercises to help us develop a focused awareness in the moment. It is, as Professor John Cabot has elaborated, an awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, to the unfolding experience moment by moment. And as I learned decades later, after I'd begun this practice, it has many more uses and profound implications beyond simply helping you not get hit in the head with a punch. And to illustrate this, I want to take you on two related but distinctly different journeys. With either of these, you may draw on previous experience. You may indulge yourself and imagine yourself in the scenario, or even some combination of the two. Whatever works for you to visualize yourself in that space, in that moment, and undergoing and feeling the experience. So, for this first journey, let's put ourselves in a familiar but not totally comfortable feeling. Go ahead, close your eyes if it helps you to visualize. Now you see yourself getting up in the morning. and realizing, oh my gosh, you overslept. You jump out of bed. You remember you have a major appointment in just a little while. And as you're running late for this important meeting, you're trying to deal with a handful of distractions being flung at you as all you're trying to do is get out the door. Your phone's going off because the text won't stop coming. And then the people are calling because you're not responding to their text. And you finally make it out the door with the realization that, hey, whoa, I might just be a few minutes late, only to find yourself staring at the taillights of the car in front of you because there's a traffic jam due to some construction ahead. Now reach down, take a sip of your beverage, allow the thoughts of the situation, the feelings to manifest. Maybe you're thinking, what idiot schedules construction at the busiest time of the morning commute? Maybe you look ahead to see the car in front of you has decided to be a good Samaritan and let the other 42 people in line merge in front of you, essentially backing you up right to the end of the line. Oy. Okay, now let's open our eyes. Let's take a deep breath. Let's wash that away because none of it actually happened. Now, for this next journey, I'd like you to get comfortable and assume a dignified but relaxed posture. Close your eyes and slowly breathe in through your nose, feeling the air come in, expanding your lungs. And as your lungs expand, feel that tension dissipate as you exhale. Let's repeat that another time. Slowly and deeply in, breathe in, feeling that tension disappearing as we breathe out. And finally, a third time. Breathe in, feeling the expansion of our lungs, feeling that tension melt, and feeling it exit our body as we exhale. Now, imagine yourself in your favorite quiet place. It might be sitting on your deck, reclining in your living room with the fireplace on, or surrounded by nature in the woods or on a beach, perhaps even a simple lunch break on a favorite park bench. What's the sky like? What's the temperature? Is there a breeze? Are there any smells or sounds that you're aware of? Now pick up your beverage, but don't drink it just yet. Feel the container in your hand. Is it warm? Is it hot? Maybe a tad unpleasantly so? If it is, notice that and acknowledge that. Is it perhaps cool? Is it ambient temperature? Now bring the rim of the vessel right under your nose and breathe in the vapors. What do you smell? Can you smell anything? If it's carbonated water, can you feel the air as the little gas bubbles explode on the surface and tickle the tip of your nose? Can you feel the heat or appreciate the complex aromas of the wine, the beer, the coffee, or the tea? How does that make you feel? Does it trigger any memories? If it does, allow these memories to come. Then step back, observe them, and allow them to float away as if they were a balloon on a string, and you let go of that string so the wind could carry it to another destination. Now, let's take a sip of that liquid and allow it to roll around the tongue and in your mouth. What is that sensation? How is it different from the other ways of experiencing the beverage? Allow the drink to rest there for a moment. Have the taste, textures, or flavors changed? Now gently swallow and feel those characteristics, those sensations of the beverage flow into you as you have consumed the liquid. Pause and feel. Now open your eyes. Welcome back. Hopefully, if you participated in the exercise, you had two very different experiences consuming exactly the same liquid. And then the question arises, does the way you chose to drink the liquid, that how we choose to eat or drink, the softer edges that comprise the totality of our food experience, Can this impact our health, well-being, and even our happiness? This is not a trivial question, because if the answer is yes, it reframes the entire way we have viewed food and health for over the last half century. The whole concept, the whole notion, the whole industry built on the supposition that the food experience is irrelevant and the only consideration that matters is food as fuel. That gospel is nothing but a shibboleth. What we have just done is compare and contrast a common everyday mindless approach to food and drink with an exercise in mindful eating. Our second journey was what we refer to as MBE, or mindfulness-based eating awareness techniques. In essence, utilizing the food experience as our focus point in cultivating mindfulness, as we might use the breath or walking or the repetition of a mantra, etc. When we engage the practice and principles of culinary medicine and participate in the totality of the food experience, this is what the science tells us. So I'm going to take a moment here and see if I can screen share this with you. There we go. And I'm going to share this. Fantastic. What the science tells us is this. Such practice improves our emotional and mental health. It improves our level of happiness and helps us reset our own internal happiness set point. As demonstrated by MRI and functional MRI studies, it causes positive structural and functional improvements to our brain. It prevents atrophy of those areas of the brain that are associated in keeping us happy, energized, and actively engaged in life. It reduces markers of inflammation and can act to lengthen telomeres. These telomeres, these caps to our chromosomes, represent physiologic aging, with shorter telomeres representing more advanced physiologic age. And now let me see if I can go ahead and stop the screen share here. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So what we can see when we apply mindfulness and culinary medicine, we see that the simple joy and honest nutrition that's found in real, authentic, and wholesome foods is one of, if not the most important, fundamental relationship in our lives. And if this is totally askew, then there can be no balance point of reference, no fulcrum for other relationships in our lives. And as the Harvard Happiness Study has taught us, it is the quality of these very relationships, more so than any other variable we can measure, that impact our wellness, health, longevity, and happiness. So hopefully today, after a belated start, if we've discovered any kind of resolution for the new year, it might just be that we should play with our food a little bit more. So once again, I want to really just thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure to visit all of you and all my friends in the UK.